is Amelia, and the reason I am filming this video today as opposed to like in a couple of days is because I got a haircut and I have nowhere to go. So I thought I'd just make a video instead because I'm lonely that way. So, you know how it's sort of like still the new year, like Happy New Year and all that stuff. It's this, what, mid-January? Can I still say Happy New Year? I don't know. I was doing my bullet journal because I have a bullet journal and I'm cool that way. I was thinking, oh, what spreads could I do for the new year? And I know that I own a lot of books that I haven't read. And I thought I would go through my books and list them out in my bullet journal, and it came to 34. So these are the books that I haven't read and I need to read, and I thought since it's the new year sort of and I want to read more books this year, I should hold myself accountable by some way. So I thought that if I said a couple books that I want to read that I haven't read yet, that I own, I can look back at the end of the year and either be like, good job, and pat myself on the back saying you've read all the books, or Amelia, you're such a piece of shit, you should have read them, you said you would. So that's this video. I'm gonna do books I own but I haven't read yet that I really need to. So let's get into the video. So most of the books I want to read this year are classics. 5 classics have made it onto this list. So one of them is 1984 by George Orwell. I'm sure you've heard of it. I've read Animal Farm in year 10 like every other student basically anywhere. And I thought I should just read more of his stuff. Another one is my book I'm currently reading, which is sort of cheating, but and it's Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Frankenstein is not the monster, as I have learned, it's the doctor that made the monster. And I'm really enjoying it. I hadn't heard much about like Frankenstein at all, like I haven't even seen any of the films, not even, I think Daniel Radcliffe's in one. I'll read that after I read this. I mean, I'll watch that after I read this. It's cool. Would recommend if you like reading classics. It's a bit wordy, but that's fine. The third one is The Big Sleep by Raymond Capote. No, not Capote. Raymond Chandler. I was given it years and years ago, so I think it's time that I get around to reading it. It's a mystery. It's like a detective story. Sounds cool, basically. The 2 other classics that I have that I want to read this year is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and The Odyssey by Homer, translated by Robert Fitzgerald. This one was a gift from my uncle last year or the year before, and I just haven't got around to reading it yet, but I should because I love Greek mythology, and The Odyssey is about Odysseus, however you pronounce it. And Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I want to read it because of Once Upon a Time, which is kind of sad. But maybe I'll read that in October, leading up to Halloween. I'll read this, like the whole horror thing. Now, a couple of other books I have that aren't necessarily classics. These ones. So I'll start with the one on the top of my list, called Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I don't know, is that how you say that name? It's just really pretty. It's about, hang on, I'll just read this because the blurb like won me over, basically. Who will inherit this new Earth? The last remnants of the human race left a dying Earth, desperate to find a new home. Following their ancestors' star maps, they discovered the greatest treasure of a past age, a world terraformed and prepared for human life. But all is not right in this new Eden. The planet is not waiting for them, pristine and unoccupied. New masters have turned it from a refuge into mankind's worst nightmare. Now 2 civilizations are on a collision course and must fight to survive. As the fate of humanity hangs in the balance, who are the true heirs of this new Earth? So I think it's like a settler's story, you know, how white people come in and ruin cultures, like the settling of Australia. But it's that, but like on like a spacey thing, and it sounds really cool, and it won the Arthur C. Clarke Award for the Science Fiction Book of the Year. My next one is Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. I've never read a Neil Gaiman book, and I've always meant to be sort of like along the City of Bones line, but for adults. And I've enjoyed it so far, and I definitely want to keep reading because it's really interesting. And then I'll watch the TV show because I want to. So yeah, that's another one on my list. I'll start with this one. and it's a Game of Thrones. Now, I have owned the books for about a year now, and I just haven't read them, and I've been meaning to, and they've been on my to-be read list, and I've always been like, oh yeah, I need to read them. Like, every time I'm like, well, what do I want to read? But I've never really been in the mood. I've always picked up something a bit lighter, like if I feel like fantasy, I'll pick up Throne of Glass, Sarah J Maas, because Queen. But I'm a huge fan of the show, and I'm sure I would really, really love the books for all the backstory it provides, and I'll be able to make better theories of the show. And now on to my last two. This next book is a huge one in like the booktube community. Very, very hyped. And it's the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children trilogy. I own them, I have the whole trilogy, I just haven't read them yet. I've read the first one, and I think I just need to get around to them because they have such good reviews and the movie and everything, but I want to read them. I haven't seen the movie because I wanted to read the books. My last book is the third in a series because I've read the two other books in the trilogy twice, and I just never got around to this one. They're Fractured Light by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. It's just one that I need to finish, and it's just to wrap everything up and to find out what happens to all the characters and everything. I just need to read it. Just like all these books, I just need to read them. Like, it's not hard, it's not difficult, I just need to read them. So yeah, these are books that I need to read this year. If I've mentioned any, or you saw any on the little list that you think I should read in particular and prioritize, please let me know down in the comments. If you're new, subscribe. If you like this video, like it, chuck us a like, that would be appreciated so I know that you like this type of video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!